Kwaziwayi vanhu veZimbabwe, salibonani abantu beZimbabwe. Awusheni kunjani uTom? Marhaba bikum wa salamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shalom aleichem. Velo yasu shevet min Yehuda. Bonjour Zimbabwe. Hello folks, and how are you? My name is Gastaff Kativu, electronic engineer and specialist in oil and gas, aviation and telecommunications, 46 years old, returning expatriate, previously domiciled in the Middle East and Asia, from 2007-2016, now in Zimbabwe, leading the CKD Campaign, which is a non-political party citizen movement pushing for a life in Zimbabwe. And I will be standing as presidential candidate in 2018 presidential election and campaigning on the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution, which is a book on Amazon.com/DP/1530-753511, entitled The CKD Campaign Leadership After Robert Mugabe, the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution. Jobs, Mabasa Imisevenzo. If you are an enterprising citizen, job seeker or student, programmer, engineer, designer, specialist, technician, artisan, electrician, mechanic, aviator, pharmacist, doctor, chemist, machinist, textile or fashion designer, farmer, musician, draftsperson, and believes that you can design and manufacture equipment, software, applications, clothing, medicines for Zimbabwe, the African Union market, and compete with America, Europe, and Asia in the listed categories, consider yourself employed and choose your dream job. If citizens are rewinding bent out electric motors and transformers, what will stop them from making their own branded motors and transformers? If citizens are panel beating severely damaged car bodies, what will stop them from making their own branded car? The answer to the above questions is that they are being led by Roman Dutch law attorneys or political scientists with no technology skills to confront Africa's chief problem of underdevelopment or the lack of technology. And therefore, engineers must lead Africa. Competition with America, Europe, and Asia. We will compete with America, Europe, and Asia in every sphere of human development. If they send space shuttles to Mars via SpaceX or NASA, we will, in the short term, dispatch Mulimo Space Vehicle number 1 through government-sponsored Chitundum Seremsere Corporation to navigate planet Earth, carrying satellite communication transporters and environmental monitoring radars. And in the long term, we will dispatch Kurumbi CHT2 into the galaxy of Kurumbi to understand the universe as a human, animal, and plant habitat. If they make airplanes at Airbus or Boeing, we will counter that through Zimbabwe Corporation with a series of passenger airplanes codenamed Zimbabwe 102, Zimbabwe 103 to own the Zimbabwe and African Union market. Mindful of the fact that an airplane will not refuse to fly because it was designed and manufactured by African people, nor will a car refuse to start because it was designed and manufactured in Africa. When they make SUVs or 4x4s at GMC, Ford, BMW, Mercedes, Renault, Peugeot, or Toyota, Nissan, we will make our own SUVs and 4x4s at Ngwarati Motor Corporation and Injiva Motor Corporations. Moreover, Ngwarati and Injiva Motor Corporations will partner to produce Zimbabwe's Formula 1 car for the Mosia Tunya or Victoria Falls Grand Prix. We will construct a Formula 1 race course in Victoria Falls where we will compete with international brands like Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, among others. And so the Zimbabwean engineers will look at the engine and gearbox sizes for the leading Formula 1 cars and design a local Formula 1 competitor. When they make high-speed trains at Alstom, Bombardier, Kawasaki, Siemens, we will make Mvema high-speed trains through Eastpela Corporation. If they make people moving equipment like elevators, escalators, moving walks at Schindler, Mitsubishi, Otis, or Kone, we will make our own branded moving equipment through Pezulu elevators. An elevator is a cabin on steel rails and run by traction motor through hoist ropes with open closed door safety switches plus overspeed guard, and used to carry folks up and down a high-rise building, which we can make and be a first world or developed country like Holland or Luxembourg. And you don't need to make sophisticated equipment to do so. But just these chicken cages, if they make toys and games at Disney, Lego or Barbie, we will make our own branded toys through Nyarara Mwana Tula Mtwaname Corporation. Toys are very easy to make, just plastic, some bit of color, a small motor, plus some music. But 60 years after Uhuru, Africa is not making toys. Toys and games are a serious industry with remarkable employment levels. With a fantastic all-season customer, I will not leave this shop until you buy me that toy. And we cannot surrender this special customer to American, European, and Asian toy manufacturers. And only yesterday, we were molding clay toys for our children. And if they make farm equipment at Massey Ferguson or New Holland, Mfula Kaina or Mvrana Umlimi will counter that and make farm equipment for Zimbabwe and African Union market. We will resuscitate the Feruka oil refinery to import crude oil through Beira and process it into a myriad of products and byproducts to give citizens numerous empowerment opportunities and jobs. And remember, the Feruka oil refinery and associated petrochemical plants will use the same laws of thermodynamics used by Vanambuya Mchigere in the preparation of SARS. That if when the onset your porridge is thick, then heat transfer will not occur, and then it will be bent at the bottom and not at the top. Simple as that. This is the same thermodynamics which is now studied in engineering, which was studied then, Nanambuya Mchigere, when the white man was still eating uncooked dogs or the hot dog in Caucasus Mountain due to the absence of the fire technology. And remember, an oil refinery is one process of temperature control. If temperature in a fractionating column exceeds concentration temperature of diesel, reduce heat flow. And if they are through PLC and supply valves, and if the reverse is true, temperature is low, the reverse should occur. A chemistry A-level class will give a specification of the fractionating columns. We will compete inch for inch, ounce for ounce with America, Europe, and Asia. And we will not dole out not even a milligram of our natural resources for other nations, for them to make value addition jobs and a myriad of empowerment opportunities for their citizens, while our African folks are singing blues with poverty. Kwenyu, 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 kwenyu wakomana. No chance. We will not be the tails of other nations. The Zimbabwe and African market will be ours truly, uncontested and not negotiable. And if they ate from our plates during imperialism, enough. The Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution and competition with the North, competing with America, Europe, and Asia will be easy from the following facts. Number one, when Julius Caesar was born, it was by caesarean section, more than 2,000 years ago. And that time, we could induce normal birth through the birth canal in Africa, not through the caesarean mutilation of female gender. And to this day, the white men still do not have such medicines. And us, instead of teaching them such African innovation, today we have embraced that caesarean mutilation of female gender. Number two, the white men are known to hexo or amputate legs when they fail to treat wounds. But in Africa, we had medicines to treat any wound. And now we have joined the white men's medical practices of the Middle Ages. Global pollution is the white men's stuff. And when our forebears built Giza in Egypt and the Great Zimbabwe more than 3,000 years ago, the current technology leaders in the North were living in Caucasus Mountain caves and eating uncooked dogs or the hot dog. If the tailing edge or the North are now sending aerospace vehicles to planet Mars or the Moon, then Tinawandu should now be deeper in the outer galaxies, Guarara Kurumbi, by this time. The new leader has managed groups of global citizens that included Americans, Europeans, and Asians abroad, and did not see any exceptional abilities that said they can make aircrafts and we cannot. And the new leader, has worked so many systems to the extent of giving technical assistance to manufacturers when they fail to correct or troubleshoot their malfunction equipment. That's when he realized that we have all it takes to compete with whosoever. Remember, engineers all over the world learn the same principles of engineers. But what distinguishes American, European engineers from their African counterparts is that in America, Europe, and Asia, they are given the platform to solve their problems. But in Africa, which is led by political scientists, there is the belief that let's wait and see what the white man will do to our technology problem. No wonder African engineers are vegetable markets in the streets of Harare, Johannesburg, Kinshasa, Nairobi, and Lagos, Bachada, Muriwo, Rep, and stuff, with their Newton Binoy aerodynamic skills that can fly airplanes like American or European engineers are doing at Airbus or Boeing. The current airplanes made at Airbus or Boeing use Newton Binoy laws of mechanics, which are well understood even in ordinary level science. These laws are 500 years old, and the airplane has been flying for 100 years. And why are we not making these airplanes or even toys? Zimbabwean high school students, including Harare High School, from Mbare hostels, beat America and Russia in robotics championship in Washington, proving that if the Americans and Russians are making airplanes, there is no reason why Zindege will fail. The CKD campaign envisions government financing new Zimbabwean enterprises in the listed trades herein to create jobs in engineering, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, marketing, sales, accounting, and finance. New enterprises will start off as core teams of technicians, specialists, machinists, electricians, artisans, mechanics, engineers, marketers, pharmacists, chemists, doctors, draftspersons, aviators, fashion designers, programmers, and accountants, led by team leader and not CEO or managing director, to design and fabricate all goods and services required by Zimbabwe and Africa so as to own the market by 100% and stop the export of goods to America, Europe, and Asia. More employees will be added at commercial stages of the enterprises at production level after the prototype testing and safety approvals have been passed. All technology targets of the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution take up to 10 years to mature, and when they do so, Zimbabwe would automatically migrate from a developing country to the first world and join other countries like Belgium, Luxembourg, and Holland. Just in 10 years, if you are willing to stand up and compete with America, Europe, and Asia in every sphere of human development, then the CKD campaign with its trademark Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution is your deal, and Gastaff Kativu is your leader. Come on and ride the technology train where not just the sky is the limit, but the Yunta galaxy of Kurumbing. The market and skills and finance are there. There is nothing as awesome as knowing that you are designing and fabricating devices for a market that is waiting for you. America will own the American market, Europe will own European market, and so will be Asia. And Tinavandi, we will own the African market by 100%. Or more so because we've abundant natural resources, and by value addition, we'll be able to capture bigger markets. No raw materials will be exported off Africa, and as your new leader, I will ensure that the African market will be used truly and uncontested. The ongoing Chinese advance in Africa is a new form of smart imperialism, which is unacceptable, and they are taking everything to China. Diamond, gold, wood, above all, dogs. They are even eating African dogs. But the Europeans previously left Africans in possession of their dogs at least. And how do Africans expect economic uhuru from the Chinese when the Chinese are not eating milk and honey, but dogs? They will finish all the remaining African dogs. Imbwa yangu machena, yadyiwa nemachina. And between now and 2018 presidential elections, all citizens who want to work will be required to choose a job of choice according to the listed companies or product category, submit their job or employment form to the CKD campaign, and after 2018 election, we are employed. And with the CKD campaign leadership, consider yourself employed in advance and guaranteed of a job of choice, which could be Zindege Corporation for Aircraft Manufacturing, Chitundum Tsere Corporation for Aerospace Vehicles, Istimela Corporation for High-Speed Trains, Ngwarati or Injiva Motor Corporations for Motor Vehicle Manufacturing. And remember to register as a voter to realize this dream. the new leader is coming with jobs for all citizens, mindful of the fact that the CKD campaign modules were fabricated by the new leader in collaboration with Zimbabwean citizens, including Madzibaba, from all political and religious divide, because the new leader is not coming with a political party, but will lead all citizens. And besides, he has no time for party politics. I remember as a little boy being sent to buy cooking pots from Madzibaba, and I'll promote them to making car bodies for Ngwarati and Injiwa. Hapana chinoramba kuitwa panjanji. The new government, through the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution, will finance all the enterprises from concept design, prototype production, testing, and service approvals until products are on the market in the listed categories. So before you choose your job of choice, let me walk you through the various companies that we will form to employ citizens in need of employment. Number one, semiconductor manufacturing. We will have low and high current. Transport small vehicles will have Ngwarati Motor Corporation. Small to medium trucks will have Ngwarati Motor Corporation and Injiwa Motor Corporation. Large trucks and buses will have Ngwarati Motor Corporation and Injiwa Motor Corporation. High-speed train will have Istimela Corporation. And aerospace vehicle will have Chitundum Mtseremtsere Corporation. Software development will have operating software or systems, one enterprise. Search engines and internet navigation, two enterprises. Banking, billing, accounting, air reservation and ticketing will have multiple enterprises. Social networks will have multiple enterprises. Passenger airplanes will have Zindege. Aviation support system will have one enterprise. Oil, gas and petrochemicals will have one, Feruka Oil Refinery. Two, Zimbabwe Petrochemicals Corporation. Three, Wejira Tire Corporation. Then for toys and games, we will have Nyarala Mwana Corporation, Tula Mtwana Corporation. Databases, one corporation. Apps, multiple enterprises. Antiviral, anti-spy, one enterprise. Programmable logic control will have one enterprise. ICT will have one for computers, one enterprise for mobile and telecom. Power and generation will have one enterprise for generation of power, and another enterprise for power distribution. Then lighting system will have multiple enterprises. Instruments and sensors, multiple enterprises. Industrial instruments and weather sensing and reporting, one enterprise. Medical equipment, one. Industrial tools and accessories, multiple enterprises. Farm equipment will have Mulimi, Mfula Kaina, and Vuranaya. Mining and earth moving equipment will have Chigaduro Corporation. Construction equipment will have multiple enterprises. Audiovisual multiple, broadcasting multiple. Refrigeration and air conditioning will have Chandu Chirami Corporation. People moving equipment will have Pezulu elevators. Textile technology and processing will have multiple. Military hardware, zero. We are not savages. Zimbabwe branded natural medicines and pharmaceuticals will have multiple enterprises. Technology models for the roadshows. These models are the signature of the new leader. He will take you to the galaxy of Kurumbi to reconnect with our old ways. Research and development for Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution. The Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution will work in collaboration with Zimbabwe universities, where each university has been given its area of research to help new companies with research information on their products. UZ will be the Center of Aircraft Engineering and Aviation. NAST will be Center for Aerospace and Space Science. Harare Institute of Technology will be Center for Petrochemicals, while Midland State University will be Center for Automobiles, and each student will be required to make improvement on Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution devices. New departments at universities. With effect from September 2018, Zimbabwe University will add new departments that correspond to their research assignments, like UZ will add Department of Aviation and Aircraft Engineering to support Zindege Corporation. NAST will add Department of Aerospace Science to support Chitundum Mtseremtsere Corporation. MS will add Mobile, Automobile, Electromechanical Department to assist Ngwarati and Injiwa corporations. While Lupani State University will add Railway Engineering Department to support Istimela Corporation. This is great news for Form 6 students. Muriko Erema Form 6, are you there? The new government will have a full year to look for lecturers and research equipment, mindful of the fact that first year engineering curriculum is the same for all engineering students, and the existing lecturers will do the job. people empowerment and jobs in relation to the market. As long as there's the market, people empowerment and jobs will always be guaranteed. To enable the citizens to earn a decent living through fabrication of Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution equipment such as automobile, plastics, airplanes, ICT, semiconductors, etc. The current assembling of Asian or European car products by some of Zimbabwe or African car assemblies, or the assembling of television sets by Samsung or other in Africa, is not the industrial evolution envisioned in this campaign. A Mazda vehicle manufactured in Japan and shipped to Zimbabwe in the form of kits is a totally Japanese car, benefiting Japanese economy only. The industrial evolution reference here starts from the raw material, such as iron ore, through all the processing stages until the final product like a car is realized, which creates a lot of jobs and empowerment opportunities for and assembling of, along the chain, whereas the assembling of European and Asian cars in Zimbabwe only creates a 0% out of the possible myriad of jobs and empowerment opportunities. For the record, in the year 2014, Zimbabwe Transport Consumers imported motor vehicle worth 469 million, and this is the market that Injiwa and Warat Motor Corporation will own by 100% to empower Wanu and not America, Europe, or Asia. The importation of vehicles and assembling of foreign vehicle brands will be phased out as follows to create the necessary local demand needed by Injiwa and Warat Motor Corporation. In the first year, people will be allowed to import 66% of their motor vehicle needs. Second year, 33%. Third year, no importation to create the demand required by Injiwa and Guarati. And which means small cars like Toyota, GMC, Chevrolet, Nissan, Mazda, Mitsubishi will be phased out. Importation. In that regard, a brand new Injiwa or Guarati Motor Corporation will come ideally not with Bridgestone or Yokohama tires, but with Wajira steel belted tire, to make them wholly Zimbabwean cars. To benefit the Zimbabwean economy is an example of total market ownership. Guarati and Injiwa Motor Corporations will only make car chassis, engine and body, and the other components like tires, rims, batteries, suspension, radiators, lights, glazing, seats and interior comfort, instruments, air conditioning, auto electrics and alternators will be manufactured by specialist companies, which will create so many opportunities for Zimbabweans and Africans. Market significance. We need the market. Without a market, we will extinct. We will starve to death like we are now. And teeth will gnash. Mazino achageda amazinyo azagegeza among American, European, and Asian nations that own the African market today when we evolve industrially to be able to add value to our natural resources. Join the CKD Campaign technology discussion forums on Facebook related to your trade and start conceptualizing your devices that you will design and fabricate through government support for the Zimbabwe and the African Union market to own that market by 100%. CKD Campaign Roadshow will visit places near you to showcase the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution ideas. Don't miss that chance to see the future of Zimbabwe and Africa. Key in the Zimbabwe Industrial Evolution products will be durability, robustness, and top quality at modest price. And now is the time for specialists to identify the weaknesses of existing technologies and technology gaps on the market. Remember, with the CKD Campaign leadership, consider yourself employed in advance. There are so many opportunities ahead of you. Register as voters to make the above targets successful. And if you want success in your life, this is it. If you like the CKD Campaign and share its philosophy and objectives, information on donations and banking details are available on the website sites.google.com/site/CKD Campaign. With the level of suffering that the citizens are enduring, record unemployment, corruption, nepotism, no homes, no money, potholed roads, dirty water, uncollected garbage, and busted sewer pipes, and other problems delivered to the citizens by ZANU-PF and the collective opposition is the collective rot. It would be a disaster if citizens were to vote for the existing policy and not themselves in 2018 election. They would have sold themselves into political slavery. 2018 election will be a citizen redemption election from political abuse. Oh, politicians, yes, they rob I and sold I to the depth of poverty minutes after I vote them into political power, and Are you satisfied with the life you are living? I am not. And remember, for the sake of the great Zimbabwe, I will not rest until normalcy is restored. Ndatenda, nyabonga, dangenda, shukran lakum, todagaba, merci beaucoup. I thank you.